Hello and welcome to tonight's programme. I'm in County Cork, where I visit O'Cruleigh's Craft Butchers in Carrigaline. This butcher outlet is truly a state-of-the-art, customer-focused and operating to the very highest of standards. It's no surprise that the O'Cruleigh group of local craft butchers and delicatessens is renowned for outstanding quality, reliability and consistency. I'll find out how the O'Cruleigh family only offer you the choicest cuts of fully traceable fresh meat and their delicious deli foods, which are created using the type of wholesome natural ingredients that you find in your own kitchen cupboard. So I'm joined here by Micheál and Christor on their farm, and as well I've got their herd staring at me. Guys, tell us a little bit about the area here itself.
Well, thanks, Adrian. We're here in the just outside Ballincollig, and where we originally came from. My father opened the shop there in 1957. But this area is called the Muskerry area, or in Irish Muskerry, and it's a very fertile valley, and it runs along by the River Lee, and it's a great area for cattle. It's also a very good area for dairy herds as well. But we are very lucky. The amount of cattle we process in a week is such that it's very easy to get them, and because we're here for such a long period of time, we've built up a long relationship with the farmers in the area. Brilliant. And Christor is responsible for.
So we're buying all young cattle, maybe 6 months old.
And you buy them then from the market?
We buy them from the local farmers.
Local farmers?
Yeah, we just get them straight in from the farm.
Brilliant. So you know the farmers yourself, you're buying off directly?
Yeah, we go to them every year, just kind of repeat every year, because we know the guys, the farmers that have the right type of cattle to suit us.
Brilliant.
It's all Angus and Hereford we use.
But we also buy cattle from other local farmers that are finished as well when we don't have enough of our own.
Yeah.
You know, so that we use both systems.
Yeah.
Where we rear and fatten some of our own, and Christor does, and we also buy them finished.
Traceability wise then,
I see every animal that comes for processing, be either on the farm or in the farmer's yard. There's no animal that comes in that I don't see.
Yeah. So
I know the diet, I know the field they come out of, I know everything about the animal before we process the animal, and that's every single animal that comes into the place.
So it's nearly from farm to fork, right?
Yeah,
it's exactly, you know where that's coming from. Yeah. That's a huge advantage in your business there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christor, what's your role in O'Cruleigh's at the moment? And since you started early, actually.
So I suppose when we were young fellas, Micheál was better in the butcher shop than he was at processing.
So you're not much of a butcher, are you?
So I don't go into the shop and stand in the counter and meet the people much now. No. So I started farming, and I did a year in Ag College, and basically what my job every week is to go and source the best possible beef we can for the group, for the shops, and go to meet the farmers. And if he has 4 cattle and 3 of them are ready for processing and one of them isn't, we buy the one and we'll feed that animal ourselves, and we make sure it's right before we process it.
What is it about the Muskerry region that it's perfect for rearing your heifers here?
It's a limestone valley with a lot of gravel in it, and you could even see there that there's probably gravel pits over there, and what that does, it keeps the land very dry and but at the same time very fertile. It means that we're here in December, and this is unusual now, but but cattle are still out and they're able to be fed outside, and it means that they can be finished from here. Now these cattle probably all of them won't be they'll be sent to indoors to be finished, but it means that you get a lot more grass-fed beef for longer in the year.
They always say that Irish grass-fed beef is some of the best in the world, so
that's no doubt. It is, yeah. It is. It's incredible the flavour that you'll get off cattle. Like, you can just see them there, they're just eating away, and they're very content. If these cattle weren't content, we wouldn't be able to talk, because they'd be just when they're unhappy, you'll know about it. They'll let you know. Yeah.
They'll let you know.
They'll let you know. Yeah.
They'll send you signals.
Yeah. Very simple. Yeah.
So Micheál, where's your role in O'Cruleigh's?
Well, like Christora, I started, we all kind of started around together, and I started working really in the butcher shop. There was no big plan, so I just liked butchering, and I liked working with meat and just seeing what potential there was there, and I just enjoyed the added value and bringing on the added value, because when I started in the butcher shop the first time, we never displayed meat, we just used cut meat as customers wanted it. Really? So you'd take down the side of lamb, or but you could bone a rib for a customer as they came in, and things were much more simple. That we just had a counter, we didn't have even a display, and then we progressed on to displaying meat, onto boning meat. Even most beef at that time was sold with the bone in, and it's funny that it's going back that way to get more flavour, as you'd probably be advocating a lot of the time, and then progressing to where we're adding lots of value now to the meat. We're taking it further and further down to where our latest shop has a cafe in it, so that we can take the whole process from where we are here right down to for our customer to sit down, and we can control the whole
you're
process.
saying I can go into your shop, buy a steak, and even get it cooked and sit down and eat it on the same premises?
Absolutely, yeah.
So boys, you have a great combination here. One's a farmer, the other's a butcher, and I'm just really looking forward to going into your shop. No arguments, huh? I'd say so. He's already hit each other before we started.
And there's no arguments with price or anything. It's always very simple, yeah.
That's brilliant.
I give him whatever he wants.
I'm looking forward to going in and seeing your shops anyway, so thanks very much.
Okay, Adrian.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Scobie and Junior are known to your local craft butchers for adding value to food. A major part of Scobie and Junior's success is built on providing their customers with a level of service and a range of quality assured products that is second to none. In tonight's episode, I chat to Derek of Scobie and Junior about their delicious creamy mixed peppercorn sauce. So Derek, tell me a bit about Scobie and Junior.
Yeah, Adrian, Scobie and Junior was formed in 1919, so we're nearly established now 100 years. We've been supplying the meat trades, essentially everything bar the meat from the netting, sausage casings, ingredients. So the netting that goes around the meat that the craft butcher uses, tell me a bit about it. Yeah, well, Scobie and Junior and netting is pretty much synonymous. We've been well known for obviously supplying the netting for all over the world, not just the local craft butchers, but to other countries as well. In fact, at one stage we actually produced enough netting to go around the world twice over.
Wow, that's a lot of netting. Derek, how did it all begin for Scobie and Junior?
Well, Scobie and Junior were established in 1919. It started off as a little van which would tour around your local craft butchers, supplying them various products that they needed, whether it was herbs and spices, sausage casings, packaging, and it's now over the years expanded. We've grown. We now supply all over the world, essentially.
So you've moved from a van.
Yep, so we've basically moved into the 21st century now, and you can get all the products from scobiesdirect.com, our website, which we have over 5,000 products on the web, so as you can imagine we can't fit all that into a little van.
Derek, as a wholesaler, what type of products do you sell to craft butchers?
Well, Adrian, we basically handpick products throughout the world that we think that the local craft butchers would be interested to sell to their consumers. So it can range from a brining kit to chutneys to the Mississippi barbecue sauce range, which comes from the USA, authentic barbecue sauce. We supply a full range of point of sale products for the butchers.
So that's fantastic, Derek. So you really are a one-stop shop for our craft butchers. So tell me a bit about this creamy peppercorn. There's like a lovely thick consistency there.
Yeah, as you can see, Adrian, is very, very thick. When people think of a creamy mixed peppercorn sauce, they're thinking of beef, they're thinking of fillets, and a lot of sauces that you see out there are very thin, and the viscosity is very thin and very runny. So we think a nice thick sauce would be much better, holds on to the meat a lot better as well, as you can see.
Beautiful. And it's bursting with flavour.
Yeah, we use basically the mixed peppercorns, which gives you that nice bit of heat, but also the cream complements the flavour also.
Wow. I head back to Bombay in County Cavan, where I'm cooking a delicious ribeye steak with kale chips and potato rosti. So ribeye steak is one of my favourites. It's a classic, so it is nearly. It comes from the rib roast. Okay, you can get it on the bone or off the bone as well. Absolutely beautiful. So look at the size of that steak. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring it to room temperature. So that's so important. And then we're going to season that up. Bit of salt on there. Bit of cracked black pepper. Okay, and we're going to get that on a good hot frying pan to fry off. Okay, so again, room temperature, because if you cook it from cold, it'll overcook on the outside and undercook on the inside. Now with ribeye, you have that lovely marbling of fat there, going on the outside and going throughout the steak as well. That's exactly what you're looking for the perfect steak. Season up the other side, and there you go, you have it. Now into the oven I'm going to place some kale, okay? So I don't know if you've had kale chips before. They're really good, they're really healthy for you, and they're also full of vitamins in there as well. They crisp up nicely. So a little bit of oil over them, and then they're going to go into the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes to crisp up nicely. You notice the way I haven't touched my steak, I haven't shook the pan, I haven't gone near it. Let it sit there, it's important. If you shake it, if you move it, you lose all the juices out of there. So make sure you leave it there. Alright, so when you go with your oil, a nice amount of it in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to grate up our potato. But firstly, turn your steak and look at that colour. That's exactly what you want. That beautiful golden colour in there, the lovely little crispy crunch to your steak. So for your rosti, what you're going to do is just get your potato and your grater and then just grate that up. So we're only going to use about half of the potato here. Pick that up in your hand, and then what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze that into the bowl there. All them leftover juices. Get your little bit of potato, place it into your frying pan, and give your hands a little wipe. So flatten that down nicely. And then we're going to add a touch of salt to that as well. So add your salt in there. The steak is cooking down nicely. A little tip for you is if you want to know how your steak is cooking, stick your index finger and your thumb together, press there lightly, that's rare. The next finger up is medium rare, the next one up is medium, the next one up is medium well, and then well done is there. Okay? So what we're doing is crisping up your lovely bit of potato rosti. We're going to turn our steak once more, and we're going to do another minute on each side then. We're going to lose all this, just clean up as you go, and then just have a look at your rosti then. So if your rosti needs more oil, what you're going to do is you're going to trickle it around the edges. So when it hits the centre of the pan, it heats up again. So in you go there. I'm going to take the steak off the pan. Okay, I'm going to leave that there to sit and rest. So once we're leaving that to rest, all the juices are coming back into the meat, all the flavouring is coming back in there as well, and it's tenderising it for you to eat, so it's more enjoyable. So don't tuck in straight away, give it a few minutes, let it rest. It's so important at this stage. With your rosti, we're going to give it a flip. So everyone keeps telling me it's a real Cavan man's pan I have here. So flip that. If you're serving food on a slate, what I recommend is brushing it with a bit of oil before and putting it in the oven, okay? So that means it's treated for you to serve food on. So that's just a little tip for you. Okay, so we're just checking on our kale chips. And they've crisped up nicely. So we're just going to give that a little bit of salt. There we go. And then we're good to serve up. So just switch off your Rosti there. That's the first thing to go on. The beautiful potato Rosti. Okay. We're going to cut into our ribeye steak. So just slice up your steak. It's nice and medium rare there. Place that on top. Let's get another little bit more. And then get a lovely bit of them kale chips on top. And there you have it. Beautiful, nice and simple ribeye steak with crispy potato Rosti and kale chips. How can you go wrong with that? Coming up in part 2, I have a chat with owner and craft butcher Micheál O'Crooley and craft butcher and managing director Francis Tuhig about the success of the O'Crooley Group in Cork. I cook up your kids' favourite meatballs with basil in tomato sauce, and I'll be having a quick chat with the O'Crooley's head chef Joe and Carrigaline's manager Geraldine. It's great to be here in Carrigaline with Micheál and Francis. How are ye, lads?
We're very good. You're very welcome.
Thanks very much. How does this partnership work between the two of you?
Yeah, Micheál is the boss. He tells me what to do.
Would you believe that? Would you?
I don't know.
I've been working with Micheál for the last 30 years, and we get on very well together. I suppose in a partnership set up, we have great respect for each other, and I suppose that's the core to the way we work together, and that kind of leads into the whole team really as such. So I look after the operations for Micheál. As you know, we've 5 shops, so we've team leaders in each place. We've managers. We've a factory. We've a manager there, and we've over 100 staff, 105 staff, and I suppose it's a lot of people, but they're all equally as good as each other. And I suppose we tend to keep them. We've a lot of staff that are there over 20-25 years. That's a nice thing.
Hold on to a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose that's credit to Micheál. And
so I've been told you're the dreamer, Micheál.
I am.
And what was your dream when you came here to Carrigaline?
It was, I suppose, we originally started with a butcher shop, and then we had a butcher shop and we opened a delicatessen alongside the butcher shop in the same shop, and then we separated and we had 2 shops. And I have a fierce passion for food, and I love food, and I love trying new things and all that, which gets me into a lot of trouble. And in fairness, Francis makes sure that a lot of the trouble I get myself into, he usually gets me back out of it again. So
he lands the dreams for you.
Absolutely, yeah. And I give him a lot of pains in the head sometimes with a lot of my I suppose adventures, but there is a lot of respect there between both of us, and we're very different people, but at the same time we have a huge passion for the business we're involved in, which is food, originating from butchering, which we both are. Like, we're both butchers and butchers at heart, but what our whole business is about, I suppose, and has continued over the years to continue to add more value to what we sell.
So what you sell,
But going back to Carrigaline here, this is a real dream come true, in that we have the full, we have the butcher shop, we have the delicatessen, and then we have the kitchen, and we have our cafe here. So I mean, when I come here every week, it's great to just look in and see everybody working and the whole business blossoming, which it is blossoming. And
Francis, tell us about the O'Crooley experience which you've created here.
I suppose in our operations, I suppose as we've said, we've 5 shops, and we've our central production facility where we, as you know, with the cattle, the whole process starts from there. We can control all our products coming into our shops, and I suppose that's probably one of the key secrets to our business. It's no big secret, but what it does is it gives us the farm to fork reality, and it's happening with us. And I suppose the big experience for us, and it's what myself and Michal are aware of, is again, it's going back to the team. And I suppose just to have that size of an operation, 5 shops with over 105 staff, you need certain controls, but you also need, I suppose, your staff sharing the similar vision. And in fairness, the one thing we are is we're good listeners, and we listen to our staff. And I suppose equally, I do believe having good staff who will also listen to the customers. So basically, we design our business around the customer, and we've changed our business model over the years, and I suppose we've diversified. And I suppose in Carrigaline, the one thing we have is you have a great customer experience, and it evolves, it changes. You listen to the customers, you create products, and you'll probably see from going around the shop today, we've a couple of key products. We've our award-winning Carrigaline cheese and beef burger, which we developed, and that won the best burger in Ireland, and you can get a taste of it after if you want. But I suppose
to try that now, actually.
But the beauty about that, I suppose, we involve ourselves in the communities where our shops, and then you'll see in our O'Crooley shop, you'll see all local staff. We're involved in the local clubs, whether it be GA, soccer, rugby, I suppose we get involved, whether it's through sponsorship or, you know, it's a key part of our business. Again, that's the listening part where the customers feeds back our managers and our staff who will listen. And I suppose in Carrigaline, we have to sit down. People can shop, they can buy their meat on the way out, you can buy your lunches. We have a lot of factories around Carrigaline, people come in for their lunch. But again, the real root to it, I suppose, is we've fierce pride in the quality of our product, and whether it is in a sandwich or in a piece of steak where people bring it home, and that customer experience happens when they bring it home, and it has to follow right through. And the only way we find the uniqueness to our business, we have full control from start to finish, and that's including our staff, because they are interested as well. And no doubt you have to listen to the customers. You might get an odd complaint or whatever, but that's important as well, to be able to listen. Because we're in the food industry, everything isn't tailor-made, and I suppose that's where we separate ourselves. We do listen, things can't be right all the time, but you do evolve, you try and I suppose the core to our business is having key people involved. We've our own chef in Joe, we've our food safety person in Cecilia, as well as our managers. We've Brian in our factory in Ballyburn controlling all our beef, as you see on the farm. That goes right through a quality process from start to finish, and all our shops, you know, we work with very high HACCP standards, and I suppose that leads into the quality again for the housewife.
Back in Bombay, I'll use lean mince meat to make your kids' favourite meatballs in tomato sauce.
Meatballs are our favourite with kids. They're absolutely beautiful. We're using some beautiful lean mince here that I got from my local craft butcher. They're so good, so they are. Just going to add a bit of seasoning in there to make the meat nice and tasty as well. So in there you go with your salt. We're going to add into the smoked paprika. So mix that around. You'll have to get your hands in here. This is the one job you have to get your hands in dirty. And then pick out your meatballs, about golf ball sizes there. And then in they go. So the kids actually love doing these, so I'd recommend, if you're making them, to get them all involved. So add a bit of oil to the pan, And then we're just going to get a good golden colour on the meatballs there to fry them off. So in they go. And then before we move on to the next bit, I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, so we're going to make the sauce to go with these. Quite quick and quite simple as well. We're going to use one small onion, and again, slice this up. So just take either end off of it, and then we're going to slice straight through on it. So just to remove the skin on the outer layer, and one inside layer as well, as it's quite tough and chewy. Into the bin there. Slice that up. We're going to get this into the saucepan here, just to fry off. In that goes, into the nice hot oil, turn up the heat, and then we're going to add one garlic clove to that as well. So just bash that, remove the skin. Sometimes it can be quite tricky actually to remove, so just take your time, and then chop that up then again. In that goes there, nice and roughly chopped. And then we're going to add in our tomatoes. So 2 nice ripe tomatoes, cut them in half, and then just slice them a long way as well. So just cut them into like nice sort of bite-sized pieces, and we're going to sweat them down along with the onions and the garlic there as well. Keep an eye on your meatballs, just turn them. You can give the pan a little swirl around. There you go. And they're getting a lovely dark colour on there, and it's exactly what you're looking for. Into the sauce in here, give that a good stir. Turn up the heat nice and high. And if you could smell that at home, the onions, the garlic, the smoky paprika of the meatballs, it's to die for, so this is so good. In here then we're going to add in our chopped tomatoes. So a tin of chopped tomatoes in there. We're going to add in a dash of balsamic vinegar. In that goes. And then we're going to add in some sweet chilli. A little dash of sweet chilli. And then a little touch of sugar as well. So caster sugar was in there. We're going to just bring that to the boil. Taste it. Have a little taste. If it needs salt, we'll add a bit of salt to it. And then as well, we're going to add in some fresh basil just at the end. So your meatballs have taken on a really good colour. What we're going to do is we're just going to blend up the sauce here. So it's come to the boil, it's softened the tomatoes and the onions and the garlic in there. Just get a handheld blender and give that a good whiz up. So it really, if you're not into your sauces being too thick and chunky, whiz it up, and then you don't have that problem of having big chunks in your mouth. So there you go. Add in your meatballs in there, and then we're just going to get them on an intense heat then for about a minute to finish off cooking through, and they will be absolutely beautiful. So our lovely crispy meatballs have had a minute in the sauce there. Just going to switch that off, get your ladle, and then we're just going to get them onto our plate. But the smell of that sauce, the lovely freshness of the tomatoes with the lovely bit of balsamic vinegar and the sugar in there is absolutely beautiful. So there you go. And then just to finish off, a nice bit of basil on top as well. So we're just going to chop that over. Bit of basil over there. And there you go. There's your beautiful, I suppose, Irish style meatballs with a lovely tomato sauce and a bit of basil on top.
Remember, for all of tonight's recipes, you can log on to my blog www.chefadrian.ie. I meet Gerling, manager of O'Cruleigh's in Carrigaline. and O'Cruleigh's head chef Joe to find out more about their role in O'Cruleigh's craft butcher shop.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Hi Adrian, how are you?
Not so bad, not so bad. O'Cruleigh's Butchers here in Carrigaline. Tell me about it.
I'm Geraldine Hartigan. I'm the manager of the shop here in Carrigaline. I would have joined O'Cruleigh when I was 17 years of age, so I've started from the ground up.
We started as
I started as a young girl, yeah, and worked my way up through the business. I would have started in the shop in Ballincollig in the kitchen cooking, and I worked my way up to manager.
Brilliant. Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
So you got lots of experience along the way.
Lots of experience along the way, and O'Cruleigh would have put me through college. I would have done a professional cookery course in CIT, where I'm a trained chef.
And Joe, what's your story with O'Cruleigh's?
Well, I'm the head chef with O'Cruleigh's. When I met Francis and Michal first, they had 2 shops in Ballincollig, a delicatessen and a butcher shop. And they wanted to expand the business and get into where they combine a butcher and a delicatessen. And as you know from Tottenham, they have great visions. And they had a vision of having a delicatessen and a butcher shop and a restaurant experience together.
Okay.
So I started with them as a head chef, developing that.
When was that?
And that was 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Yeah, so before they opened the Fermoy shop, which is a delicatessen and butcher and cafe. That was the first one we opened. And then we opened a Wilton shop after that. And then this fabulous Carrigaline shop.
But guys, I'm cooking a dinner party this weekend, and I'm cooking everything from scratch.
Great stuff, you've come to the right place.
And then next weekend I'm cooking another dinner party, but I don't want to do any work. I'm going to be a little bit lazy, I'm going to lie back and relax. What can you do for me?
Okay, if you come into our store, we can actually give you from starters, main course, dessert, from either raw or cooked. For starters, you could do a chicken stick, which we have here, marinated in our own sauce. For a main course, we could give you a strip loin steak with our pepper sauce. We have lovely gratin potatoes. We make all our own desserts here. You could get the likes of a Bailey's cheesecake, a lemon cheesecake, a double chocolate fudge cake, or we do all individual tartlets.
So the weekend after, I'm being a bit lazy. I don't want to do any work. I want to lie back and just relax.
Lucky you.
Lucky me is right. So what can you do for me there?
You can just come in here. We have a full display of cooked products here. We have the likes of a fish cake, quiches, so we can do up all those for you. You could get the likes of a chicken Caesar salad. And for main course, we could do you like a beef stroganoff with chicken curry, a stew.
And all these recipes, where do they come from?
Well, they're all unique to us. We develop them with the customer in mind, depending if the customer wants a chicken korma or they want a hot curry, spicy curry. So we listen to the customer. The customer will say what type of curry or wet dish they want, like a typical beef stroganoff or a beef bourguignon, something like that, or a traditional Irish stew.
Thanks so much for your time. It's fantastic. I know the shop is very busy here as well.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Time to put the kettle on. Coming up in part 3, Michal tells me about his plans for O'Cruleigh's future, and Francis tells me of how you can buy, cook and eat your steak in O'Cruleigh's Craft Butchers. Julie, who is head of marketing in Associated Craft Butchers of Ireland, has a chat with me about her role, and finally I try to find out the secret to O'Cruleigh's award-winning spice beef.
Michal, how does your dream retail shop here differ from other butcher shops?
I suppose if I go back to when I started in 1979, I was 15, and I remember we had no display cabinet. So as the customer came in, you basically cut the meat as the customer wanted it. So we were there, and now we're here where the product is actually being served cooked. So that's the whole it has evolved all that way. Where it's going to be in 20 years' time, I'm not sure, but I'm sure we will be doing something very different again. You know, like I suppose, like the next phase now is where we'd be starting to, you know, we're developing our own app, and it's going to be online, and we're looking at all that side of the business. You know, as you're a social media expert yourself, and that's starting to play a big part of our business. And an exciting part, and it's all new, and we're having huge debates about it between ourselves at the moment, and you know, how to take the business in that direction, and how it is going to evolve like that.
This store here in Carrigaline is a prime example of an excellent retail store, like one that I've never seen before, down to all the products that you sell. Like, look at cupcakes.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a butcher shop, you know. Coffee, it's a cafe. You can go from one side of the counter here, pick up a steak, and you can go over and ask one of the girls in the counter to cook it for you, if you like. You know, it's.
I suppose what's totally different with it, Adrian, is when you come in, you see our cottage pies. Generally, people don't make those themselves. I suppose the way our business has evolved, we like to have full control over. You've seen the cattle in the field. The product, we take our mince off of that, our own steak mince. In the shop here, we have a kitchen where customers can see us making those cottage pies. You put your potato on top of it. It's all being done fresh. You'd have some mornings there where they're still in the oven. You'll tell the customer 10 minutes they'll be ready. That's very, very unique. As you said with the steak, we have the capability of cooking the steak if they want it. We don't normally do that, but that's the way the thing will evolve for the future. But the big thing here, we do our home baking. We've expert staff in the kitchen we can do from baking. It's a long ways from butchering. The way the whole butchering, when I started working with Michal first in 1985, it was a butcher, solely butchers, and I suppose Michal introduced the deli part of it over a couple of years. The whole thing has evolved, but I suppose, again, that was listening to the customer.
What they want
traveling,
in the counter, really.
What they want in the counter, changing, and I suppose we are in a business where it's very competitive out there with supermarkets. In fairness, they're putting a big drive on, and there's a lot of but we try and separate ourselves from that, and we separate it by having better product, better quality. We rear the animals, we buy from local farmers. I suppose another satisfying thing when you have the farmer's wife coming in buying the steak that has come off their own animal. There's not many places, and you can buy from spiced beef to corned beef, minced beef. You know, you can buy a rib of beef on the bone.
So did any of you two train as like chefs or do courses in cooking or anything like that at all?
Francis is the brains of the operation. Because when Francis started with the company, it was a small company in 1987, he was the only fellow who had his leaving cert. So we took a big step up.
Did we train as we were always?
You're always keen into food anyway.
We were always good at eating. We always liked our food.
Eating.
We enjoyed eating. I suppose I can remember going back years ago, as Michal said, I started in 1985. Michal was so busy serving the customers. I used to go up, I'd cook the T-bone steak at the back, and we'd get the chips next door, so we'd have steak and chips, and the two of us would be out the back eating our T-bone steak.
Yeah, but there was much of the steak left when I came along. Because itself and Noel is in Ballincollig, the two boys would have it all eaten, but then we'd get around to it.
But I suppose we would have trained, we'd have went in a lot of courses, we'd have travelled a lot, and I suppose, to be fair, on the food side of it, we'd have got our executive chef Joe Gagan. Joe's an Offaly man. He's currently living in Skibbereen, and he likes his food himself, but he's an excellent chef, and I suppose you do bring in that expertise. Brilliant. And it makes a difference. Geraldine, that manages the shop here, is a qualified chef, but passionate about food. Again, you know, as I said, we be the butchering background. Michal would have done a lot of courses on the food side of it. He lives in Hare Island, and he's constantly inside in John Desmond's restaurant there. All those little, and we thought John Desmond was going running the shop at one stage, but unfortunately. But that, to be fair, and I suppose our background as well, we had a catering industry where we deal with a lot of hotels and restaurants. So in that part of it, we were cutting steaks, fine dining for for those hotels and restaurants. That bit of expertise helped us a lot, because your interaction with chefs all the time, like we were treating it as chef.
A lot of exposure
to chefs, but equally you put that in, listen to the housewife at home or the husband. You listen to some fantastic people, great. There's so many cookery programs now. They'll come in with their ideas. They'll see
tell you what they want.
Bit of ribeye. You see ribeye steak. They'll say, "Can you get a dry age?" We can. To be fair, the cookery programs bring us. We're ideal when it comes to cookery programs. So we have the product. We can get your unique cuts, your offal cuts. Your liver, your heart, your flank steak.
They are just unique to craft butchers.
You need to go to a butcher's to get those. So we can create those products. A bit of shin beef, for beef tea or whatever. We have all those products in our company.
The Associated Craft Butchers has many roles in assisting and promoting your local craft butcher, from training, business mentoring, technical and HR assistance, to name but a few of the supports available to its members. I chat to Julie Cahill, who is Head of Marketing, about her role in the Associated Craft Butchers world. The cornerstone of what I do for the craft butchers is built around the support of Julie, who is Head of Marketing in the craft butcher office. Julie, tell us what marketing involves for the craft butchers.
So I suppose I'm responsible for marketing the craft butcher at a national level. So that involves creating awareness of the craft butcher and also building up the brand and educating consumers in relation to the craft butcher and the variety of meat cuts to be found in your butchers. Also, that filters back down through to local level. So we are also a support function for the butcher himself. So we help him market his shop locally, while also helping him to promote the craft butcher brand locally also.
What types of support is available there?
There's a variety of support. So we run campaigns nationally, and that filters back down through the butcher shop. So it could be barbecue week, a lamb promotion, Christmas promotions. We provide posters, press releases. We also run competitions for the butchers. So we run the sausage of the year competition, pudding of the year, barbecue product of the year. So all of this, we create the activity and awareness nationally, but we also provide support then for that to feed back down through the local butcher at a local level.
This year saw Crudy's winning a gold award for its spice beef. I chat to Michal to see if I can get the secret to its national success. Right, Michal, you're going to take us through the process of spice beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get serious firstly, alright?
Yeah. Come on. We can
work with that, can we?
Yeah,
you have a spice mixture here. What goes into this?
Okay, well, I'll just give you a bit of background to spice beef first. So, spice beef is a Cork dish, or it's a Cork product, and it originated in Cork. Everybody else in the country, they're trying hard to replicate it, but the original spice beef recipe and product originated in Cork, and it originated because the basis of spice beef is beef cured, which is corned beef, and then
what's that done in? Is that like
it's in a brine. In salt and water. The first thing is you cure it, and cured beef was always very popular, especially in olden times, to preserve it. It was designed like smoky was preserving. Bacon came from cured. It's cured, right?
Yeah.
So corned beef and cured beef are the same thing. So here we have a piece of beef that's not cured, it's top side. Yeah. And that is the tops the spice beef here, which is finished. I'm jumping ahead of myself now, not as good a demonstrator as you, Adrian, but anyway. The fundamental is that it was for Christmas, and the reason was for Christmas is people spices are very expensive, as you know. Like pimento is expensive.
Yeah.
White pepper, black pepper,
You're
cinnamon.
giving away your recipe.
I know, but I won't tell you. I won't tell you the quantities. And it's all about the quantities. It's all about the blending. It's all about actually one of the big things is where you buy your spices. And the other thing is you must give it time.
What is it? You put your brine into that.
You cure it first, right?
First,
and
yeah.
the curing takes maybe 2 days, 3 days, and then when it's cured, you add your spices in, and you rub them in at the start, and then you into the tumbler, and you roll it really slowly, and you could maybe tumble it a couple of times over the month to get it really massaged right into the beef. So like you get. So what I'm going to do here is we have some spiced beef ready, and we always use the top side.
So when it was done in the spices, how long did it take then? You know, you were saying it was tumbled in there.
Well, we would have tumbled it for a few hours.
A few hours?
Yeah, yeah. And there could be lots. See, there might be 30 pieces of meat inside in the tumbler.
Wow.
And they're rubbing off each other. So they're like massaging each other inside the tumbler. I think one of the lads found himself inside the tumbler when he was small one day. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice this here.
Oh, wow.
And like
look at that.
What you can see is the marbling, which is the thing. And then you can see the spices are starting to work their way in. It's not that you have to have the spices brown the whole way in, because you can overdo it. But what you want is it's
slightly
coming in.
The spiced beef is so versatile, you know, for different dishes.
Absolutely.
Like, what would you use it for? You use it for sandwiches?
I personally like it cold.
You like it cold?
In sandwiches. And look, we started because there was such a demand. We sell it all year round now. So, but there's no comparison to the volumes you sell in Christmas and the volumes you sell for the rest of the year. But it's great. I mean, it's a product we have now on the shelf all year round. And it's very easy to cook. You just put it into the saucepan, cover it with water. I know people add Guinness to it, and they be
like whiskey goes into it.
And
all these other.
You could be fooling around with it, but in essence, really, I think like you just
it's already flavoured.
It is already flavoured.
So
loads of flavour. Yeah. You're only confusing yourself by adding more into it. So, like,
how long would you boil it for?
Same as corned beef, an hour to the pound.
An hour to the pound.
But simmering.
Okay.
And then just turn it off and let it go cold in the water.
Wow.
So just leave it there, and then because there is no fat in it, so you won't find, you know, that after cooking fat meat, the fat, as you know, rises to the top and you skim it off. But you find with this, because there's very very little fat, that you will have to skim off much at the, you know, when it goes cold, and then you just take it out and have it for Christmas.
Lovely.
All day and all night if you want it. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And would you serve it as like a main course as well?
Oh yeah, a lot of people would.
Nice bit of cabbage with it or something.
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
I'd say if you had this above in Cavan now, I'd say
you'd make a fortune.
You'd make a fortune. Yeah.
There you have it, folks. Crulley's finest spiced beef. I'm going to get that cooked in here. Is that alright?
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. Some of the most amazing beef in the world. Grass-fed Irish beef from your local craft butcher. How could you not resist?
Remember, for all of tonight's recipes, you can log on to my blog www.chefadrian.ie. Coming up on next week's programme, I visit Fenlands of Stillorgan, where I'll be chatting to craft butcher Cliff Lenihan about owning Ireland's first butcher shop in a shopping centre. I will also be visiting the home of our competition winner, where I'll be cooking their fantasy meal for them and their friends. So remember, folks, as the saying goes, keep your business in town if you want to keep your town in business. See you next week.